Welcome to OSB Miniature Studio, and this time I'm going to show you how I kitbashed my very own Rubric Marines, these guys here, by combining parts from Stormcast Eternals and Rubric Marine and Scarab Terminators. I had this idea of creating a Thousand Suns army that was much more like space and sorcery rather than the heavy Egyptian theme that rubrics are traditionally based on, and I entered it for last year 2022's Armies on Parade and took home a gold from my local hobby store. So very happy to share the process with you. Let's begin with the base of this kit, and that is a pack of Stormcast Sequitors, some Chaos iconography from Green Stuff World, these are like brass etched pieces, and then I take Scarab Occult Terminator heads, Rubric Marine backpacks, and also Rubric Marine Inferno bolters and arms. Everything else comes from the Sequitors kit. Oh yeah, and you'll need some bases. Start by clipping off the main bodies of the Stormcast Sequitors and assembling these. Then with a sharp knife scrape away all the Age of Sigmar iconography. So this is all like the Sigmar anvils and lightning bolts across the piece. I do this as several layers, very gently scraping away. Remember, less is more. Work away at it very carefully, and with a sharp enough scalpel you'll get there eventually and have the whole icon removed. Keep scraping away until the surface is smooth. You can also, as opposed to just using the liquid cement glue. With our Stormcast built, we then just take a couple of the Tzeentch icons from the Green Stuff World iconography pack, and then using a small amount of super glue we place these wherever we've removed the hanging icons of Sigmar from the model. I use a cocktail stick to help maneuver these into place so that they don't get stuck to your hands. Lastly, I take my scalpel and I work my way around doing little V cuts into the edges of the armour, into the sides of helmets, around the eyes, anywhere where a bullet might have hit the Marine and like chipped away at its armour. I know some people will say that Marine's armour is made of ceramite, it doesn't chip, etc. But again, these are my Thousand Suns that have been stood in a desert for many years. They're autonomous, so they don't necessarily preserve their own life. They're happy to walk into a hail of bullet fire. So these guys have taken some damage, and I just like that as an aesthetic for my army. With the arm joints, some of these didn't quite sit perfectly because the body of a Sequitor is a lot wider than the Rubric Marine. So taking some green stuff, I just fill in anywhere along the backs of these joints just to make sure there's no excessive gaps on the model ahead of priming. Any leftover green stuff should be, as always, rolled up into teeny tiny little balls. Set these aside, use them as mixing balls within your paint pots. You should never need to buy mixing balls if you're constantly converting and kit bashing models, because inevitably you always make up too much green stuff. Now using crackle paint from Green Stuff World, this is their Martian Earth crackle paint. It's meant to be used on bases to create a Martian desert texture. I like applying it to terrain or anything else that I want to have like a weathered, chipping away paint effect. I also use this to hide where I haven't bothered to remove any mould lines on these models. Fun fact, if you're doing an army that's taking a lot of damage or a lot of weathering, don't have to go so excessive with mould line removal if you can just hide it behind some like typhus corrosion or crackle paint. Very useful in armies like Nurgle, etc. So on these I'm just adding like deposits of rust along the tops of their shoulder pads. around the bases of the cloak and also around the icons. Once we're done adding this crackle texture, the Marines are ready for priming and then to be given quite a simple paint job to bring out their rusted and corroded nature. But here are the final Marines ahead of being painted. I hope this inspires you to kitbash your own Marines and to maybe look at using the Stormcast range for your own kitbashes and conversion work. If there's any interest in this, I might at a later date post a video showcasing the rest of the army, showing the finished paint jobs, etc. But as always, a big thank you to all of you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It probably helps me. This isn't a business, this is just for hobby. But it still makes me feel good, and it might make you feel good too, because I know you're a wonderful person that is destined for hobby greatness. Until next time, goodbye.